Oxfordshire Community Foundation, when the COVID crisis hit, recognised that there was going to be a need for a huge public response and a community response. So launched an appeal called the Community Resilience Fund. We were overwhelmed by the response. We had fantastic support from people like Indigo Trust and a range of other philanthropists, and the National Emergencies Trust did a national appeal. In the first couple of weeks we gave out over £100,000 to local community groups and other organisations. Money was coming in and then going out to local groups within 7 days of receiving an application. We've now disbursed over £600,000 in grants to over 100 different organisations.
What they've done is they've enabled us to go forward without financial restrictions placed on us. And what that meant was that when we sat together as a team and said, okay, this is how we want to respond, we had a green light.
I think we're probably operating at 4 times the speed and 4 times the pace that we were working at 3 weeks ago. OCF responded really quickly to provide some funding to cover that gap, which is tremendously helpful.
So what OCF's grant enabled us to do is to stop worrying about money and start thinking, okay, what is the immediate community need?
We could probably only have afforded to provide food for about a week. You've enabled us to provide food for up to 2 months.
The first week that we switched all the activities to digital, we saw 50 new young people.
Our community engagement team has been liaising with all our groups, that is 550 groups, day in, day out, figuring out what they need and answering their questions.
A lot of our communities were not accessing the services. They felt shamed or there was some sort of other factor. But when they saw that it was coming from people that they knew and they could trust, they were more willing and open to accepting food and accepting help as well.
The focus is now around how do we support people to progress from the hotel settings, but we've now been able to engage with a landlord who has a number of blocks of empty residential properties in central Oxford that enables people to move in and live somewhere as a home and as a place to get dedication, support, care, attention, and to stabilise and move on again.
Right now, people with cancer need Maggie's more than ever. They're facing changes to treatment, delays or even cancellations. I've been able to continue to support people, offering individual telephone therapy sessions and being here to answer the phone to people when they need someone to talk to.
Life is just so chaotic at home, it's just not possible for them to learn. We've actually been able to facilitate 2 young people who've come into our centre here receiving one-to-one tuition in order for them to catch up with work that they haven't done at home.
And just knowing that the BRIDEWELL team were there, that people who knew them and who they'd built a relationship with was a real lifeline for them.
Lockdown is easing. Our figures are just going up, rocketing, really. It's a different experience working online, so we had to make sure that clients would be safe.
In the first 12 weeks of lockdown, we made 2,459 food parcel deliveries, and that was just over 8 tonnes of food saved from going from waste.
Smile on her face when, even just speaking to me in the morning, she's sort of lit up.
We've already seen that COVID is placing additional pressures on family life, more stress, loneliness, as well as perhaps domestic abuse. So we've had a number of searches already linked to these issues.
From the outset, Oxfordshire Community Foundation always thought there would be a need for both a strong response and a good recovery. Most of what we've done up until now has been about responding better. Now we're starting to think a lot more about what Recover Stronger will mean in practice. We've been working with a number of key local partners to look at strategic investments we can make to help the sector recover stronger for the longer term. So we would urge people, if you are lucky enough to have any money available, to please think about making a donation to your local community group or to Oxfordshire Community Foundation.
To know that people are on your side and they're backing you, it makes an enormous difference. So thank you.
A big thank you to Oxfordshire Community Foundation and all the people who have provided money.
We are all in it together, and it feels like that as well. It feels like we're all supporting each other.